Easter eggs. A hidden message as a cryptic reference, iconic image, or just an inside joke that fans are intended to discover. That's the literal definition I found from dictionary.com, by the way. Well, it's been a whole week since Wait, no, it's been more than that. It's been a month because I just haven't uploaded. Well, it's been a whole month since I last talked about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon Easter eggs, and honestly, there are a lot of them in these games. So many, in fact, that when I tried to cover all of them, I just didn't have enough time to go into detail about each and every one of them. And it's really upsetting because there are some really awesome detailed Easter eggs. So today, I thought it would be fun to share the list of my top 5 favorite Easter eggs that you may have missed in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. This way, I can talk about all of my favorite Easter eggs in much more detail. And as always, if you think an Easter egg should have made this list, go ahead and let me know why in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And with that being said, let's get started. Coming in at number 5, we actually have a tie between 2 Easter eggs that I genuinely liked. The first of which didn't even spawn from Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. This Easter egg originally came from the first Pokemon games, Pokemon Red and Blue. If you go to the TV that's in your room and turn it on, some text will pop up saying this. There is a movie playing. The scene is showing 4 boys walking down a set of railroad tracks. And if you do the same thing in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, these exact texts will appear too. This is a clear reference to the very popular 1980s movie Stand By Me. But you're probably wondering why Game Freak would mention this specific movie, and what's so important about it? Well, back in the 1980s, this movie was very popular in Japanese culture. So much so that they even sold special copies of the movie so Japanese people could learn English and even spread into Japanese boy bands. So I guess this movie must have been a big inspiration for the creators. I've actually already covered this Easter egg in my Pokemon Sun and Moon Easter eggs video, but the fact that they brought this Easter egg back again for the sequels really shows how much they admired this movie. And the other event is actually one that I covered in my previous Easter eggs video, and that is the fact that your character has a father. You can find out this revelation by looking at the trainer guide on your desk, which will say it came from your father, and the other from the car that is in your garage, which is actually your father's car. What I love about this Easter egg is that it opens up a bunch of theories, like who is your father, or where is your father, and why didn't he come to Alola? Might have to cover that in a video, so stay tuned. One of the biggest legends in the gaming industry has to be the former CEO and 4th president of Nintendo, Satoru Iwata. If you guys don't know who this man is, you might want to do yourself a favor and research him. Mr. Iwata is a very interesting man and contributed to some of the greatest video games of all time, such as Kirby, Earthbound, Super Smash Bros., and yes, even Pokemon. And when he succeeded Yamauchi as the company's president in May 2002, under Iwata's direction, Nintendo developed the Nintendo DS and Wii video game consoles, helping the company achieve great financial success. I mean, they are both in the top 5 most sold gaming consoles of all time. So basically what I'm saying is that Satoru Iwata was a genius. But unfortunately, Satoru Iwata had a tumor in his bile duct, which was discovered on June 2014 and was subsequently removed. But in 2015, his cancer resurfaced and ultimately took his life at the young age of 55. He died way too young, but left a legacy and impact that will be remembered for generations. And in Pokemon Ultra Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, a reference to his great legacy was made. If you head over to Game Freak's office in Hiya City, go over and talk to Morimoto, who is standing near the kitchen on the left. Once you do, you can trigger different types of dialogue depending on certain Pokemon you have. For this specific Easter egg, what you need to have is a Pokemon that's transferred over from Pokemon Silver. Once this happens, it triggers dialogue from Morimoto, which states this: "When we were having trouble fitting all the data in for Gold and Silver and we were really in a pinch, this amazing guy came along and made a program for us that solved all of our problems." He went on to become the amazing president of a really big company soon after that too. And if you guys don't understand the reference, during Pokemon Gold and Silver's development, Game Freak was in serious trouble because they were only able to fit about 50% of the game's data into the Game Boy cartridge. But thanks to Iwata, he was able to compress the files and fit the rest of the game into the Game Boy cartridge using a compression system that he created, basically saving Pokemon Gold and Silver from having to cut out Pokemon, the Kanto region, and even some new mechanics. Satoru Iwata has to be one of gaming's most important figures. It's sad to see that he's gone, but he will never be forgotten. I think one thing everyone has to give Game Freak credit for is how well they've developed characters in Pokemon Sun and Moon. And in the sequel, Game Freak dives even deeper into the lore of certain characters by giving some of them their own special events. And by far my favorite out of these has to be the one that Aether Foundation's Lusamine got. This new event is triggered once defeating Gladion in the Pokemon League title defense after you become the champion. Gladion will return from Kanto for a battle, and once you've defeated him, this special event between Lusamine and the Poképelago guy Mon takes place. In case you guys don't know, it is confirmed that Mon is actually Lily and Gladion's father, and is also the person that originally discovered the Ultra Beast and Ultra Wormholes. And at some point, Mon disappeared while researching the Ultra Wormholes, which in turn caused Lusamine to go ballistic in attempt to reopen the Ultra Wormholes to find her husband. So in reality, she was only on this manhunt for Ultra Beasts because she just wanted to find her husband. And in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, we finally get to see the big reunion between Mon and Lusamine, and further get confirmation that Mon's trip to Ultra Space somehow affected his memories. Because when they are talking to each other, Mon clearly has no idea who she is. Lusamine is clearly taken aback by the sudden reappearance of her husband, although Mon doesn't recognize her or even recall visiting the Aether Paradise. The two then have a brief conversation and Mon leaves, oblivious that he is abandoning his family once again. And as he's walking away, Gladion approaches his mother and asks if that's really how she wants to leave things, but Lusamine just seems to be happy to see her husband smiling again, even if it means that he doesn't even recognize his own family. Love hurts, man, but I gotta say, with this storyline, Lusamine becomes one of my favorite bosses in all of Pokemon. I think one of the longest Easter eggs to be introduced in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon has to be the Ghost Girl story at the trainer school. Not to say that it's a bad thing though, in fact I think this event is one of the most interesting stories out of all the side quests. It's just so mysterious and creepy, and those are the things that interest me. To activate this special event, you have to go to the Big Wave Beach at night and talk to a little boy at the shore. And once you speak to him, he goes on to basically say that the trainer school in Hau'oli is haunted. So once that conversation is over, you have to head over to the trainer school at night and you'll find a girl in a Drifloon with some very, very creepy music. Now from that alone, you should be getting red flags. Just take a look at the Pokédex entries about Drifloon that literally involve it killing kids. But wait, there's more to it. From there, you have to talk to the girl, and she goes on to tell you 7 supposedly scary stories that just turn out to be a child's misunderstanding of the actual situation. That is, except for one of them, which is called the Ghost Class story. If you head over to the second room on the second floor, you will enter a class that is apparently in session. At night. Now, of course, things don't really seem right, considering, again, this is a class at night, and things get even weirder when you go up and talk to the teacher. First, she introduces you to the class, but when you give your response back to her, she says this: I, Drifloon, child, lonely. Now, after watching that scene, you're probably wondering what the heck just happened. Why was there a hypno there? And it's made even more confusing when you return back to the ghost girl and she says that it's good that hypno remembers her. But luckily, everything is answered with this diary entry that can be found in the same ghost classroom. February 12th. I stayed at school playing until really late, and then a hypno appeared. The new kid went home with the hypno. Apparently, the hypno came to pick her up. Now, you're probably wondering, why would any kid want to be around a hypno, considering its, well, pretty interesting background with children? Well, in Alola, hypno actually rarely harm humans. Instead, they focus their attacks on Komala. The ghost girl used to attend the trainer school, and every day after school, she was always picked up by hypno. But one day, hypno didn't show up. Instead, it was Drifloon. And since we never hear from the hypno again, it's pretty safe to assume that it either disappeared or died at the hands of Drifloon. And due to Drifloon's reputation with kids, it's safe to say that this girl followed suit. It's a sad story, but I gotta say, it's really interesting too. And finally, coming in at the #1 spot, we have one of my favorite Easter eggs, period, and that is the story of Slowpoke, Pyukumuku, and Pikachu. Let's start off by going to the very top floor of the trainer school. Once there, you'll find a bevy of bookshelves, and if you click on that green book over there, you can read about a story called The Three Little Trial Goers. In short, this book is an interactive story where you choose what the three trial goers, Pikachu, Slowpoke, and Pyukumuku, do in order to prepare for their journey. But no matter what, something always gets in the way of them starting off their journey, like being scared of a hungry Munchlax, or just being conned out of their money by traveling salesmen. But there is one sequence that actually has a successful ending to it. The options you have to pick in order to get this good ending to happen is to choose money, Pyukumuku, and pay. Once you choose those options, it will go on to say that when you are on your island challenge, gentle readers, perhaps you will see this plucky trio somewhere and smile. And if you head over to Pikachu Valley, you can actually see this trio sitting together looking pretty happy. So I guess they have started their adventure. But here's where things take a turn for the worst, because this isn't your typical fairy tale story where things end off on a happy note. Because like life itself, things aren't always great. Situations don't always end well. Once you advance through the plot, you'll find yourself in Lusamine's lab. And if you look around the lab, you should have definitely caught a glimpse of Lusamine's private collection, which involves an assortment of Pokemon frozen inside of ice blocks for what looks to be the rest of time. And among these unfortunate Pokemon lies three very familiar faces: Slowpoke, Pyukumuku, and Pikachu. So it turns out their journey evidently got them killed, frozen forever in Lusamine's lab. Like a famous man once said, the world out there ain't sunshine and rainbows. It can be a really mean and cruel place. And this is just an example of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and become an Eryizo today. And if you guys ever want to participate in any one of these top 5 videos, I will be asking for your guys' opinion a lot more on Twitter, so be sure to go follow me there. Links are in the description. I also will be updating you guys on when videos come out, so if you ever want to know at the earliest time possible, you know where to go. And if you guys would like to, comment down below which Easter egg was your favorite to see. If you want to check out the previous video I did, be sure to click the annotation on the left. If you want to see some Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon videos, click the other annotation on the right. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.